Hi friends, so continuing from the previous tutorial in which I created a simple socket server. So if you haven't watched that, what socket server, that's the simple way of creating a server using Python. So using that server you can echo whatever client types, so you can echo it back or whatever else you want. So before creating this socket servers tutorial, which was in the previous tutorial, a very simple one, I created so there are a few other videos on my channel that I created a Python server, but without using the socket server framework. So that was kind of messy and long. uh, so what socket server framework it does is that if you import the socket server, then we can easily create a server in a few lines. So in the previous tutorial, what I did was I created a simple server, Python server, which would receive input from the client and then send it back to the client. So whatever the server received, it just sent it back to the client. And this, however, so what the problem with that one was that when the client sent something to me like a hello or something, after that it would shut down or it would close the socket. So the client would have to connect again and send data, and once you send that data, then the connection would get closed again. So if you keep doing that, so it was kind of it would be kind of annoying. So if to send everything you have to connect again, so send every message if you have to connect again, that will be kind of very annoying. So what I will be doing in this tutorial is I will be creating a, which I did actually, I created a while loop. So using that while loop, the server will just listen for the messages and it won't shut down after one message has been sent. So in here, let me open this. So in here you can see that I have this my server, Python server. This is I'm running it in a Kali, and then I have a Windows 10 machine. So let's check its IP address. It has an IP address of that. So let's see if we can ping it. So 10.0.0.101. This is the IP address of my this is the IP address of my Kali machine, 10.0.0.101. So you can see that we have connectivity. This is, so let's get started. The script that I've created is in the desktop. So let's go to nano server. So in here what I'm doing is that so I will be just going quickly over all these things because I've already explained it in the previous one. So in here I'm importing the socket server module. Once I have imported it, then in here I'm creating a subclass called my TCP socket handler of the socket server framework base request handler. After that, I'm overriding the handle function, and then I'm just sending this, outputting this line, print received connection from, and then I'm outputting the IP address of the machine that is connected to us. Data is X, so it can be anything. It means that just put something as long as the data object holds something. So in here we are saying that while len data, so I'm saying that while there is data, or while there is some kind of input in the data object, so what you do is that self.data, using this object you can receive, so this self.request.receive, so what it does is that it's saying that receive input from the client. This 1496 is, this is the buffer size, 4096 bytes. And next time what it does, a print self.data. So whatever we receive it in here, we store it in this variable or this object self.data, and then we are printing it on the screen. And what this does, this self.request.send all. So it says once you receive it, so that's self.request.send all. What it does is that it sends it back, the self.data in here. So whatever we received, you are sending it back. And at the end, once the connection is closed, you can type in bye bye. So in here we are creating a server object, and we are using the socket server module and the TCP server function of it. So this doesn't have to be TCP, we can use UDP server as well, but in this case I'm using TCP server. This 000, this 4 zeros, it means it's a wildcard character, which means listen on all interfaces. You saw that this machine has an Ethernet 0 interface interface, which has the IP address of 10.0.0.101. So if you have multiple interfaces, or we have a wireless interface as well, and we want to listen on all those interfaces, in that case, this 0000, all these four, it's good, because what it does is that it listens on all those interfaces. However, right now I have one interface, 10.0.0.1, so I can just put in 10.0.0.101 in here as well. It wouldn't make a difference. So in this case, I'm just using 10.0.0.0 for zeros because it's good practice. So if you do it, if you want to listen all interfaces, then just use this. And after that, what this is this is the 1 2 3 4 5. This is 12,345. This is the port number on which I will be listening. And then this is the my socket, my TCP socket handler. This is the subclass that we created previously in here. So this socket server .tcp server, it receives these inputs, the IP address, port number, and the subclass. And here what I'm using is that I'm saying server.serve underscore forever. So what it does is that it says just keep running this server indefinitely, just keep running it as long as until I close it. So let's close this and let's run it. So python 3 server.py. Now let me go to the Windows machine. In here I have netcat running. Sorry, I will be running netcat. So in c.exe, it has an IP address of 10.0.0.101, port 45. So if you type in something like hello, you can see that we receive it back, or like what up, howdy. So whatever we type, we receive it back from the client. So in here, let's go. So you saw that this says received connection from. So what it does, it shows the IP address. This is the IP address of Windows 10 machine. You saw it previously, and this is the IP port number that Windows 10 is using to communicate to this host. And then here you can see that we received hello, we received what up, howdy. So whatever we type from there, it receives it from here. So one other thing you can do is that, let me show that as well. Sorry, yeah. So nano server.py. So what you can do in here, one other thing is that you can also use this upper. Let me send again. So okay, I have to change the port as well. 1 2 3 4. This time let's say 6. So let me run it again. This time it is port 12,346. So if you type in something like hello, so what it does is that whatever we send, it will send it back. Will send it back to us in uppercase. So that upper function that we used, whatever we typed in, it will send us, but it would send it back to us in uppercase. So you can see that whenever whatever we type in here, it sends it back to us in the lowercase. Sorry, in the uppercase. So this is it for this tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, any suggestions, recommendations, if there is any particular topic that you want me to cover, feel free to put it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.